Hey, this video is going to be a little different than what I normally do. So a few months back, if you have been watching for a while, you know that I did a video talking about my history with anxiety and depression a little bit. And you guys just made me feel so great and welcomed, and I was scared to talk about it, but no, I really appreciated all of the wonderful comments and messages that I got. And I also really love that a lot of you said that it made you feel kind of like less alone in your own issues with anxiety and depression. So today I wanted to just do sort of like a chatty, more traditional vlog and just talk about how I've been dealing with that, because I have been doing much better, and sort of discuss things that work for me that maybe might work for you. As kind of a disclaimer, I feel like I have to say I am not a wellness professional. I am not someone who has studied mental health. I'm just a person who's going to share some of their experiences dealing with anxiety, depression, and if it helps some of you, then I'm so happy. But if you're dealing with something really serious, I hope that you'll reach out and talk to someone or get in touch with a professional who might be able to help you, because that actually has been a big part of what's helped me. I have a history of working with a therapist, and there's really no replacement for that, and I'm a big advocate for talking to someone. I think it helps. So there have been three really big things that have kind of inspired change in terms of me getting over this bout of depression that I felt like I was in this winter. And one of the main things I'll say is getting up and getting out. One of the trickiest things about, especially with depression, is that it can really leave you, I think I talked about this a little bit, it can really leave you feeling discouraged and hopeless and depressed, which makes you just want to stay in bed all day and not do anything. And it convinces you kind of that, like, even, how can I put this? It convinces you that exactly what is going to make you feel better is not what you want to do. Like, it tells you, oh, like, you shouldn't go be social, you shouldn't leave the house, you shouldn't do that thing you said you were gonna do because there's no point, you're depressed, you're gonna feel this way forever. And I felt a lot of that, and I would wake up in the morning and like not want to get out of bed. If I didn't have a reason to get out of bed, I kind of wouldn't, because I was convinced that I couldn't, and I felt like too depleted and depressed to do so. So you have to recognize that's the depression talking. Like, that's not true. You might feel terrible and like you don't want to get up, you don't want to go out, you don't want to do anything, but I promise you, if you make a coffee date with a friend, if you go to the gym, if you just get out of the house and walk to CVS and pick up an orange juice, like, get out of your house. And in getting out of your house, you kind of get out of your head a little bit, and you will be surprised that just kind of being around other people can help so much. There's so much isolation that comes with feeling depressed. And in order to break down that isolation that builds up, you have to connect with the world around you and outside you to feel kind of more normal again. That's a huge thing. That was a huge thing for me anyway. Like, I remember I was sitting in bed and I just kind of Googled, like, how to get over depression. And one of the biggest things it said was, like, you have to force yourself to do stuff that you don't feel like doing. And once I realized, like, oh, I feel much better when I do this, it makes it a lot easier to do it. So that's a big thing. Get up, get out. Pretty self-explanatory. Number two, I started a regular meditation practice. I have been meditating on and off for maybe 4 years, but for the first time in my life, I'm really doing it regularly and really noticing a huge difference when I do versus when I don't. I try and meditate twice a day. Usually it ends up being just once a day, but I've been meditating upwards for like 20 minutes at a time, and it's not always great. Like, I don't always finish the meditation and feel like, wow, I feel so much better, but cumulatively, I notice day to day that it does make a huge difference in my mood and just kind of like feeling more even keel and stable. I wish I had like a great online resource for meditation. I don't. My dad sort of was my meditation influence in my life, but if I can find something, I'll try and Google something before I put this up, and if I find something, I'll put a link down below that can be like, if you're interested in meditation, then you can start doing it. Meditating is really just about kind of quieting your mind and just kind of slowing things down for yourself, because especially like with anxiety, it can be easy to feel like your thoughts are racing and you can't keep up with them and you have all these things to worry about. And meditating can be really, really hard in the beginning, because if you have a really noisy mind like I do, then trying to focus on your breath and quiet those thoughts and sort of like let them go or let them think themselves is like the phrase that helps me a lot. It can be really challenging, but I think it's worth doing. And even if it's just like 2 minutes a day, start with 2 minutes a day. Like, one of the worst things I think you can do when you're feeling shitty and you want to feel better is like setting up these huge expectations for yourself. Like, I'm gonna meditate half an hour in the morning every day. I'm gonna like wake up early before school or work. And like, don't set yourself up like that. Like, baby steps. Like, start with something small and make it manageable and see how you feel, see if it makes a difference. And the third thing, I feel like I'm talking really fast, but it's just I'm nervous about this video being long. The third thing I would recommend to anyone, and this is super by the book, is exercise. Ugh, I know, exercise. I started kickboxing and I got back into yoga, and I have noticed a huge difference in terms of my energy being up, feeling like it's lifted my mood, feeling like I don't feel as anxious. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not necessarily like I finish a workout every day and I'm like, oh my God, I like feel amazing, I feel great. But like cumulatively over a span of time, now that I've made it a regular part of my schedule, I do notice that I feel much better. So I think finding a form of exercise that really speaks to you. If you're not like a yoga person, then don't spend time trying to make yourself like yoga. I love kickboxing because it's a really high intensity workout and it like is really charged, and I feel like it really gets me to like a place where like I can't think anymore and I'm just like going. In the way that kind of like running has worked for me as well. But again, start small. Like if you have access to, what are those things called? Like where it's laps around a track. If you have access to a track, like walk around the track for 20 minutes or like 10 minutes or however long. If you just want to like stretch and just like activate your body a little bit, do that. I think a lot of the times it can be easy to feel like, well, I have to be working out 6 days a week or else it's not going to work. And when you think that way, you're just, I'll speak for myself. When I think that way, I'm just setting myself up to be disappointed in myself, which is like the last thing I want to feel if I'm already feeling crappy. Yeah. So those are 3 huge things that have helped me feel better. So naturally, my camera just got like really hot and shut off for some reason. So now it like might be a weird edit. Anyway, in closing, I just want to say, what do I want to say? Listen, we're all humans. We're all going through rough shit. And I am no exception. But if you are going through a really rough patch right now, please believe me when I tell you things can get better, things will get better, no feeling lasts forever, no matter how terrible it feels. And I hope you're taking steps towards feeling better because you're worth it and it's worth it. When life feels good, life is really magical and wonderful. And I'm someone who's been on like both sides of the spectrum, so like I get it. If you just can't hear that right now and you're like, you don't get it, my life is actually terrible, I'm telling you, like, you don't get it. Your life might feel terrible, but it's not. Is that insensitive sounding? I hope that's not insensitive. Oh, another thing. I think I'm starting a new YouTube channel or online project centered around wellness and self-care and talking about these kinds of issues, the stuff that I'm talking about in this video today. If that's something some of you would be interested in, please comment below and let me know. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it no matter what, but like having support behind it would like make me want to do it even more. Because I'm super passionate about self-care and being silly and light about life and just helping each other along in the process. Okay, this video is way too long. If any of you found this helpful, I'm so glad. And until next time, I'll see ya, okay?